NSFW, SX workers of Reddit, have any of your friends wanted to pay for your services? How did it turn out? I've had a few friends who were interested in doing so, but in talking with them, it became clear that they didn't want to pay at all. Wanted a friend discount or wanted to pay with something else other than money. Nothing happened in any of these cases, and then I had a friend who was interested because he wanted to lose his virginity. He actually backed out of it on a couple of occasions, which I put down to nerves. Finally went through with it and it was fine. It happened and we're still friends. I dated a girl who was a Yahoo cam girl probably 15 years ago. I remember she got paid crazy money. One guy would pay her whatever her rate was per minute just to call her and talk to her about his day. He didn't even want anything else at all. He just thought she was really cute and sweet. I remember she said the number one thing most guys asked her was to stick things up her ass. Not sure why that was so common, since it does nothing for me. She ended up getting a collapsible DLDO so that it looked like she was showing this huge thing up her ass. But there was no penetration. I remember she made more working a few hours per weekend than I did working 9-5. She ended up getting married and I lost touch with her. Definitely some hilarious stories. I am shocked to hear there's any money in this stuff nowadays with so many free PRN sites. Just learned about collapsible DLDOs. I thought I knew it all. My ex was a famous webcam star on Chaturbate. He actually became real life friends with his highest bidder, some creepy 40-year millionaire living in the California hills. He still visits him once a year and the guy pays for everything. Oh, he met a sugar daddy? I was dancing for a while after I got out of the military, and one night one of the people I worked with came in and asked for a dance. Admitting he always wanted to see me naked. He paid. I gave him a dance. He was shocked and ecstatic to see my pierced nipples. And that was that. A girlfriend of mine's sister wanted me to have sex with her. I refused. Then she offered to give me a clarinet in exchange for sex. Still have the clarinet. I'm a sucker for musical instruments. Edit. Didn't think this would blow up like it did. Now my highest rated comment is about me being a musical. Edit 2. The sloppy second-hand clarinet has been sold to a fellow redditor. I'm a little sorry to see it go, but I'm glad it's going to someone who can use it instead of sitting collecting dust. It's got quite a story behind it. Former SX worker. I've had friends who have found my videos online and mentioned them to me. If they are my friends, I don't usually care as I'm not very secretive with my past. However, I have been working in restaurants for a couple months now, and one of them I quit because the entire kitchen staff watched them and was trying to get me to do things for them. Most of the time for free too. The one after then only one of the kitchen guys found out. He was okay with and wasn't weird. But then a customer recognized me and told my manager. Manager was a huge bitch and made some excuse to fire me when she found out. Now I have a nice office job and dress very professionally, so hoping no one finds out. It makes me angry that other people care so much. Like you were watching it. What makes you any better? I had the reverse happen to me back when MySpace was a thing. One of the hot girls from high school became a prostitute and used MySpace to solicit old classmates. Last I heard, one of those classmates' wives kicked the living out of her after setting up a fake session. The next reunion should be a blast. I work as a stripper at a nightclub. My neighbor came in one night and saw me spreading wide, and he didn't expect to see me there. One thing led to another. Next morning I woke up in his bed and he was a virgin the night before. They say that when you work in the trades, plumbers, masons, etc., friends and family always ask you to do your job for free. As a carpenter, all I can say is if you're going to ask someone to do their job for free, the least you can do is buy materials, liquor, and offer to lend a hand. Actually, a ton of people I've known from high school have purchased my video library etc after finding my selling posts here on Reddit. I just kinned off. Never bring it up again. If they change the way they treat me, I cut them out. But if nothing changes, hey, can't blame them. Sometimes you want to a friend where it isn't a good idea to actually do it. Cam girl here. I've had friends buy my videos and quote them to me in public. It became a sort of joke, but was also very embarrassing at the time. Also a weird one. But my first cousin tried to purchase a custom video from me on Christmas Day. Very gross. Edit. This blew up with some nasty comments as always, so I won't be replying to any. Roll Tide. Former SX worker. Yes. They tried. They would try for some kind of friend discount, which I was not about at the time. I was hooked on heroin. I had zero interest in SX, so performing for subpar wages was not going to happen. OMG. You sent me clean syringes one time years ago on our opiates. You're one of the many reasons I never got Hep C or anything. I am 3 years clean now and haven't thought of you in a long time. So happy you're still around doing God's work. You're the best, Tracy. As a non-SX worker, I am surprised at how little money it would take for me to have SX. How much in slushies? Former SX worker. I had a few friends who found out what my night job was and asked for SX. I was attracted to a few of them and I hooked up with them for free. I had a few others want other services and I charged them. Edit. I don't think most people would do what I did. I was young and was just doing it for spending money. You shouldn't beg your SX worker friends for SX. I love this. Hey John. Wanna have SX? Sorry Hank. For you it's $50. But it was free for George. Asterisk. Look in a mirror. Hank. Former male stripper. Here, does that qualify? I'll assume it does. Close bracket. I originally started stripping for friends' bachelorette parties. So yeah, my friends paid me for my services. Did SX happen? Sometimes it did. Those particular friends were friends with benefits at that point. A guy I knew through the local kink scene booked me for a threesome with his girlfriend. I was a bit apprehensive as he knew my real first name etc, but it was a really fun night and we've stayed in touch since. I do have a good friend ex-buddy that I stopped seeing when he got a girlfriend, but he obviously can't handle monogamy. He ranges from hinting to just outright asking me how much it would be for a blowjob. He was great in bed and I could do with the spare money, but I've met his GF a few times and I just can't bring myself to agree to it knowing how sweet she is. Current Reddit only SX worker. Actually, instead of wanting to pay for it, I've had some wanting my content for free. It's a little awkward. But I don't mind too much as long as they don't talk about it and don't watch anything with me around. I may or may not have recently given someone some videos in exchange for them scooping the litter boxes in my house. I haven't ever had any of my friends ask, thankfully. And I was never in a desperate enough situation where I would go along with it any one of them did offer. I mean, I have almost had SX with a few of my friends but wouldn't consider charging for it. Especially because even just having normal SX would make our friendship too complicated. Friends with a former full-time, now part-time SX worker. She started out straight and became more and more interested in women. It was very easy for her to say no to her male friends and more difficult for her to hide her want to try and be with some of her female, but straight, friends. She lost her slot in both circumstances. Got depressed. And now identifies as bisexual after changing her name, deleting her social media accounts and restarting as a relatively new person. We are still in touch and says that her biggest mistake was that she rationalized, incorrectly, that the professional personal line could be blurred. I still have my ex on Snapchat. I noticed a few months ago she was advertising sending out custom pictures and videos. Now she's selling live SX shows. I'm half tempted to purchase a membership to her premium Snapchat, as in just curious at this point what the hell is going on. Weird coincidence reading this. To be honest, thank God this thread put me off it. I have not been asked by friends. That said, most of my friends have already been in at least nude if not SZUL situations with me before. Not a SX worker. But I fixed a friend of a friend's laptop whilst at uni. It was in the finals week and it blue screened. Poor thing was having a breakdown as it was Sunday night and all her work was gone. I didn't want to say yeah, I'll defo be able to fix it just in case I couldn't, but said I'd give it a try. 3 hours later her laptop was back up and running. Anyway, she wanted to pay me, which I refused to take. Once she ended up submitting her coursework. Next day she came back to my flat with a box of heroes to say thank you and ended up sleeping with her. Don't think I'd ever meet her if it wasn't for her laptop blue screening and my friend posting on FB saying is there anyone good with laptops. So, you didn't get paid for SX. You got paid in SX. My ex recognized me on here and wanted to know why I didn't let him know about my GoNeWild account. Not SX worker, but similar situation. I was at a strip club once when I was 18. That I had been to a few times before. And found out that my assistant manager's daughter was dancing there. I kept quiet for her. But didn't stop me from getting a lap dance from her. Especially since I had the hots for her from all the visits she made to my work. It was a bit awkward the first few times I saw her at my job after that. But less so as I continued seeing her at her job. Current SX worker. Yes. This has come up way more times than I would have liked. For some reason. They think they should get my services for free because they know me, but I find that pretty insulting considering I only do what I do because I was in a financial crisis. This has caused some issues with a few friends as I told them how rude it was to expect things for free. Cause when I wasn't a SX worker I wouldn't have had SX with them anyways. So why should there be a difference? Honestly. I am completely azul now because of my job and having my guy friends ask me for services s me off enough. But to ask for it for free? GTFOOO. I'll sell SX for upvotes. Pay up by Arch. Hope this gets traction. With stories of some action. Aren't we all SX workers if we really think about it? Nope. Most redditors are virgins. I once wanted to kill myself. But I mandated that before I'd go through with it. I must have SX with a hot girl. Most hot girls weren't interested in me, still aren't. So I hopped on a boat over to Amsterdam. I hired 2 SX workers over the course of 2 nights. For €100. Once I was done having SX with the 2 hot girls. And getting high there a bit. It was weird. But I no longer wanted to kill myself. The SX workers essentially fixed me. Although their treatment has worked. I've been feeling horribly lonely in recent years. I may need to schedule another trip or something. Don't worry about hot girls. Find a 5/10 who you connect with and can grow old with. The hottest 25-year-old will be a wrinkly mess when she's 60 anyways. Good luck, sir. I'm a purely online SX worker who isn't out about this line of work to most of my muggle friends' family. At this point, I imagine someone I know has seen me online but not recognized me. I don't show my face, but no one has come forward about it so far. That said, someone with my ex's last name and first initial has purchased some of my videos. I have no idea if it's him or not. He knows I do this, but the kinks of the video did line up very much with what he's into IRL. I'm here for the links. Calling you Sarah XXX. And the many others on RSSLs. I am on the SX working spectrum. I met a couple. Whom now I am very close with. Through my job. They enjoy coming and spending money for my services. And when they do I am my work persona. I have made it clear to them that it is important to separate who I am when I am working from who I am when I am just their friend. It has worked very nicely. They are great people and we have a lot of fun platonically and also not so platonically. It helps that my work has a defined location so there's no question of when I am working or not. I think because they are very like-minded respectful people it is easy for all of us to have a good time within the bounds of money transactions while switching it mostly off for our friendship. There's always some friendly flirting when we are just hanging out. But that's just the dynamic of our friendship even outside of my work. As you can imagine, a lot of sex workers enjoy being naked and also tend to have more sexual experiences in their personal social lives. Not all of them, of course. But me for sure. I buy from a good friend all the time. The thug is we just make sure we separate the business and friendship. She knows if I'm buying pictures it's because I have the money and I think she's SI. It's actually made our friendship way less awkward since. Because we've done cam sessions and I've bought pics and videos, we're good at giving each other body confidence talks and I can tell her what parts of her stuff are really good and will be popular. She's also a super wonderful girl and the sweetest girl on the planet. A lot of my friends have paid for my services. It turned out fine. Business is business. I know a guy who had this huge crush on the one popular girl in high school. Was never gonna happen. He grew up late. And up and saw her at a strip club 9 or 10 years later. Banged her in the VIP. He told me he only did it as revenge for her being a. Also, guy paid money to bang a meth addict because some high school girl hurt his feelings 10 years ago. How is he as not embarrassed to tell this story? So I had this really close friend in HS. I had pretty much had a crush on her since I first knew her. Fast forward a few years to last winter. And I nailed her. It only cost me $2,000 for a ring. I have a friend who also jokes about getting service almost every time we hang out. I know he's lonely and he doesn't mean any harm, but he know I'm not a fan of the business. Actually quit today and hoping I can get a normal job for a while if possible. I'm not gay, but $20